Good afternoon. This is Paul Wilson. I will be joining you today with another faculty development video in Moodle. And today our topic of discussion is gradebook weighting. This is a very easy process once you've set up your gradebook, and we will cover some of the particulars today about gradebook weighting. Come into a class, and once we're in there, we want to turn our editing on. I have a class here which is a shell, and I have students loaded in it, but I have no assignments and no grades per se just yet. So scroll down, go to the left, and under Administration look for Grades. Now we're entered into the grade book. So I want to enter into the grade book where I have a few items but nothing developed yet. And I'm going to choose categories and items. That's where we will work primarily. I'm going to go ahead and, for our use today, clean up the gradebook temporarily. And now I want to start new with a category I'm going to call tests. So I scroll down, I click Add a Category. I'm going to call this category Tests. And we have the aggregation here, simple weighted mean of grades. Mean of grades and so on. You have a pull-down menu there. We're going to use weighted mean of grades. This would read out as a maximum grade of 100. I want it to be 30. And I'm going to save changes. Now I have created a weighted mean of grades category with a total of 30. This is a weighted mean as opposed to simple weighted mean up here. Now under this I want to add grade items. So I'm in the menu and under Edit Categories, Simple View, I'm going to add grade item. Click Add Grade Item. I want to put in Test 1. Now I want Test 1 to read maximum grade of 100. And I'm going to leave it grade type, value, and so on. But critical to this is to identify the parent category, and I must put under there tests. So I'm going to save changes. Now you see under here the test, which is 100, but it's under a category that has 30. I can continue to add these items. Test 2, I'm going to say it's worth 100, and again I must scroll down and put it in the category test and save. And then I'm going to add another item, test 3. I'm going to use maximum grade of 100. I'm going to scroll down and put it in the category tests, and I'm going to save changes. If I leave it loose, and do not put it in this category, then the gradebook is not going to give me simple weighted mean of grades. Now notice I have some other things in here that are going to be worth something, but this category tests, the whole category is going to be worth 30. We have 3 quizzes worth 100 each, 300 points, but it's only worth 30% of our final grade. I'm going to allow the gradebook now to do that sort of calculation for me because it's going to produce simple weighted mean of grades. Now, let's go back to viewing. All right. Now suddenly I have out here in the view, under the categories and items, test 1, test 2, test 3. And if I have, say, a user report, you can see how that looks. That's what a student might see. Test 1, test 2, test 3, but out of category 30, 0 to 30. Now, to feed in these grades manually, I'm going to go back to categories and items. I'm going to go to view, going to go to grade a report. Now I need to turn editing on. When I turn editing on, I can feed in the grades manually by putting in the first box the actual grade. You need to use the first box, not the second one. If you're going to feed in a manual grade, then update after you put the grades in there. Now, that gets us our category and our grades. But you'll want to save these, and to do that, you're going to go back to categories and items or anywhere, and you want to click export. I will set the rows under options to 100 because I want to capture all the grades. If you only want this category, then you can grade items to be included. You can click there to select out just those grades. So let's say I only want tests. So I have test 1, 2, 3 and category total. That's all I want. I'm going to export that. I've checked just that. I submit it. It's going to download that. I'm going to click download. I'm going to click open just to show us what we're looking at. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the scores that you have fed in, test 1, test 2, test 3, and you're going to get your category total, which will be the simple weighted mean. 100, 200, 300 would produce a category total of 30, and so on exponentially. I'm going to X out of that and return to the gradebook. I'm going to look at the gradebook now, and I'm going to look at categories and items, and under there I'm going to find this category, tests. If I don't want this category, I can remove it by simply going to the actions and doing the delete function. Delete tests, yes, and now that's going to be gone as a category, so I'm going to have to get rid of test 1 by itself, test 2 by itself, and test 3 I'm going to have to get rid of by itself. Now I've cleaned up my gradebook so that I'm back where I started. Let's review. What did we do? We added a category. When we added the category itself, we had the power to use simple weighted means of grade. We added 3 items, each worth 100 under a 30-point category. Those 100-point quizzes would be averaged out by simple weighted mean through the gradebook function. And I showed you how to export. I hope you enjoyed this learning adventure in creating and using your gradebook. The settings are variable and you have many choices: mean of grades, simple weighted mean, highest, lowest, and sum of grades. I encourage you to work with your gradebook to create the kind of grade book that will serve you and your students best. Thank you. Have a great day. Paul Wilson, Shaw University, Faculty Development Workshops, Training in Moodle.